Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvellously well. Waves has some new plugins out, which we are going to demo all of the new ones, all the new saturation plugins. But in this video, we're going to start with the Abbey Road Saturator. You may have watched other stuff that we've done when we were in Abbey Road Studio 3, and we had a little bit of a sort of impromptu interview with Merrick Stiles, who is over at Abbey Road Studios, and he is a big part of this with, of course, the Waves guys. So I'm very excited to try this because I really strongly believe that there's something very unique about those TG consoles. Obviously, I grew up listening to Abbey Road, the album, like many of us. And of course, the TG stuff that Chandler makes, which is all Abbey Road approved and made to the same specs, has a very, very unique sound, really quite unique sound. So I'm really excited to see what this does, both subtly and abusing it as well. So let's get stuck in. So here I have a pair of acoustic guitars, which have actually got some all kinds of craziness going on. I've got EQ, a de-esser, an R-comp, you name it, all across there. Let's have a listen to them. Let's hear them before all of that schnizzle. Fuller, you know, actually quite a nice sound, natural sound, full. I think I recorded those with a $100 microphone. So the compounder acts as an exciter. So why don't we open up the Abbey Road Saturator. See if we can mimic a little bit of what's going on there using just this plugin. So I'm going to take the input down. Okay. All right. Stop the presses. This is like, I haven't done anything. This is just the bog standard setting. Let's match the levels again. Are you hearing this? All this mid-range and everything, just on the standard settings. Just on the TG, it's whatever gain is going on. Let's take the mix down. Magic! All right, off again. Blend in. Okay, turn the compounder on. Oh, wow. Before, after, bring the mix down, blend it. Full, go to the red. I think I prefer the TG. Now let's see what I started with the 4 plugins on it, 5 plugins. 5 plugins, no plugins. Settings I just did on 1 plugin, the Abbey Road. So that's using it subtly. I wasn't even driving the schnizzle out of it. So as Beatles fans, which I'm sure many of you are, like myself, pretty much most of us who listen to music or love music, you'll know this sound. This is very, very characteristic of, you know, especially that TG of that great album, Abbey Road, recorded at what was used to be EMI Studios. Now, of course, it's known as Abbey Road Studios. Pretty remarkable. It really does have that sound. Even though the acoustic there started to get a little lispy and maybe I need to put a de-esser across it, you know, just to control it slightly. Everything else about it is pretty, dare I say, magical. We already have a J37, talking of Abbey Road, tape on this vocal here.
No one's ever been able.
But I could hear a little grit on that. Let's start with that.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever.
This is just defaulting. It's already clipping. I want to have a listen.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're.
So you've got pre-EQ. Okay, it's on. I see. I can see. There's the control there.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Oh, wow.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before.
That's going to be interesting. So I could overdrive it, like more in the mid-range and not the high end, and not sort of like make it lispy. That's kind of nice. Let's go crazy on this for a second. I love just finding schnizzle out.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
So wrong. Okay, so that's completely obscene, but this is what's interesting. Now, let's pull this mix back.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
That's what I like. So what I've done is I've gone below, just quickly did it, just a little bit below 2K and distorted the schnizzle out of it.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
And then blended it back in. Let's see what that sounds like in the mix.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
I'm going to have so much fun with this. Okay, now I'm sure many of you know, and we can open that up as well and blend it back in. I might do that, brighten it up now and see what it feels like. Many of you know that the TG is a solid state console. The red is a tube. So let's flick it. Let's go back to maximum mix. Let's open this right out, just see how crazy distorted it is.
To stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able.
Turn on the compounder.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Wow. I love what it's doing with the high end on this. Have a listen.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
That's really nice. It's interesting how you get tools like this and you really, like me, I'm just like, hey, what's this gonna do? And I just kind of have some fun with it, and it's adding some air on it, but it's crispy, it's extra harmonics.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before.
Now I'm gonna go to the red.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before.
Oh, it's instantly fuller.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before.
Bit more mid-range, like pure mid-range on the TG.
No one's ever
Go to the red.
been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
I like both of them.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Let's have some fun with the post EQ.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Not hearing much because, of course, the mix is all the way down. So let's pull the mix right up.
No one's ever
Now you can hear it dramatically.
been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
I like the mid-range,
No one's ever been able
which is more
to stop me in
prominent on
my
the
tracks
TG.
before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a
Oh yeah, the compounder of that pure mid-range.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Now blend it back in.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast. No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
Now bypassed.
No one's ever been able
Bring it on.
to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast.
I love all these sophisticated ways of like distorting and like adding excitement, and it's really, really interesting. The thought process that goes into this to go back and model classic pieces of equipment. Now, let's try some fun things. Let's try something on a stereo source. So let's do this. Let's go all of these. We have tons of different drum elements on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the chorus drum elements here. Because I like this idea they were describing about distorting just the middle and not the sides. So Let's see what that does. So we just created a stereo auxiliary here. So we're in stereo at the moment. They aren't kidding about that phase reverse switch. Wow, dramatic. It's all that farting out like crazy on the low end, but I like it. So I'm now going to bring this back. So tempting when you get things like this because you can hear the extra excitement that it generates with the with all that saturation in there. It's definitely interesting perspective because I find that you know, there are certain saturations that we get used to. Lo-fi is a popular one, Sans Amp, both of those come free with people that have Pro Tools. Decapitator has been a very popular one for the longest time. This is definitely more sophisticated, and I'm going to go to the red. Let's go back, so full blown over the top. Actually, there's a hollowness in the TJ on this sound. I like that on the red. That's totally over the top and destroyed. You know, the mix control is fantastic, but there's a part of me that thinks I could just duplicate it. Let's try that as well. So we'll come in and duplicate it. You don't need to because, of course, there's a mix control, but I always do silly things like this. So now, now it's full blown. I'm going to go in there and grab some low end. Yeah, wrong. Totally over the top distortion. I don't know how many instances we can get on of this, but let's bear in mind what I'm doing here is completely and utterly over the top and quite silly. However, what I would probably do is get in here and put it on individual elements and introduce very small amounts, or do over the top stuff and blend it in lightly. That would give us, you know, that edge of the console that we're all looking for. This is quite fun. Again, there is probably all kinds of things that it's telling you should do. I just like making it up as I go. So I'm going to go and we're going to listen to just the affected one now. So now in this MS mode, we're just great. Oh yeah. Oh, so I see what's going on now. Now I've got the center, the sides destroyed, totally everything destroyed. This is really interesting. Really cool. So I can use it to add energy to only the sides or only the center. Very smart indeed. Great idea. Oh, this is going to be really, really interesting because I'm destroying either the middle or the sides quite dramatically. So much so and so over the top that I can use it to enhance the middle or the sides, depending on which way I go. That's just quite interesting. And then just bring up like crazy energy. I'm doing it completely over the top at the moment. So let's back it down and see if we can get some fun things. So good. So center and sides, which is actually quite interesting on this drum mix. One of these things on this drum mix that's been a lot of interest to do, shall we say, is being able to bring these toms out. Oh, this is good. Okay, so what I love about plugins like this is it does things that I don't expect it to do. It's really interesting, like, oh wow, now I can destroy the center or destroy the sides and I can blend it back in. I could do the same thing with the mix here. We're working in parallel at the moment, but we could do the same thing with the mix. Fantastic. Wow, what a rather exciting and fun new plugin. Hey, I want to try on all kinds of stuff. We're scraping the surface. If you download this and try it out, come back, leave messages. Let us know what you're using it for. My gut is, quite frankly, that it would be good on lots of different instances. Let's put it on a bass guitar. Interesting how that works. Go to the red. Now the bass itself doesn't have a huge amount of low end on it because there's so much low end in the toms and everything. But I'm going to do... So I'm lacking a bit of low, so what I'm going to do is do what we did quite early on with the vocal. So I've gone right down to about 1K there, so I'm only working on the low end. I've boosted quite dramatically. Maybe not quite so much saturation, there you go. Go this post EQ so we can get rid of some of that. There you go. Some of that clicky clicky. Maybe I can do this too. There we go, wider. Okay, so now it's driving the lows really nicely. Mix down. Oh yeah. So what's happening is that I'm using it to really push the low end and just get it round and distorted and angry, and then blending it back in, and it's now a far more effective low distorted sound blended back in. Great. Before? That was really nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just drop it into the track, the whole track. Great. So exciting. You can see I can just open this up and find the characteristics, the fundamental of sounds that I want, and have some fun with them. Great. Okay, Abbey Road Saturator. Rather nice. So we're going to come back and try out the other new Waves plugins. I just wanted to spend some time on this and try it with different sources because I'm quite excited. I really need to spend a few hours and mix a song almost entirely using this just to see what we can get. But I think it's going to be pretty miraculous what it can do. Very smart. I'm sure it took him a schnizzle ton of time to sit there and go through all this stuff. I know Merrick Styles over at Abbey Road Studios is really, really into this. and really knows his onions. So shout out to all the Waves guys and obviously, of course, Merrick over at Abbey Road. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and leave a bunch of comments and questions below.